The latest trailer for Supergirl has finally been released, offering a clear look at the new direction of the DC Universe under the leadership of James Gunn. The film is scheduled for a global theatrical release on June 26, 2026, and is adapted from the 2021 comic Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow by Tom King, a story that is far more emotional, somber, and reflective than typical superhero narratives. Unlike previous portrayals of Supergirl, this film presents Kara Zor-El as a character who is emotionally fragile, lost, and unable to find a place she can truly call home. The trailer immediately establishes this through her interaction with her cousin, Clark Kent. In a video call scene from the Fortress of Solitude, Clark appears concerned, noting that Kara keeps traveling from one planet to another, never truly settling anywhere. This conversation lays the foundation for the film's central theme, the search for identity and belonging. Kara is not like Superman, who grew up on Earth surrounded by family and community. She directly witnessed the destruction of Krypton. Her home is gone, Argo City is destroyed, and Earth has never truly felt like home to her. A simple line in the trailer referencing people emphasizes that Kara feels she has no one. Her living environment further reflects her emotional state. Her spaceship is shown to be cluttered and chaotic, with objects floating in zero gravity, including bottles of alcohol. This suggests a nomadic and unstable lifestyle. It also aligns with her brief appearance at the end of the previous Superman film, where she was seen intoxicated after partying on a planet orbiting a red sun, where Kryptonians lose their powers and can experience alcohol like humans. One of the most prominent elements in the trailer is the presence of Krypto, the superdog. In this story, Krypto is not merely a sidekick, but a deeply emotional anchor. He is one of the last living connections Kara has to Krypton. Their relationship is portrayed as profound. Krypto is both her companion and a living reminder of the trauma they share. The trailer also hints at a possible Easter egg. One visual shows a bottle floating in space, which may reference the concept associated with Brainiac. In DC lore, Brainiac is known for shrinking cities and storing them in bottles, including Kandor, a city from Krypton. This detail could serve as foreshadowing for a larger future conflict in the DC universe. In terms of backstory, the trailer depicts the destruction of Krypton and the deteriorating condition of Argo City. In the original story, Argo City temporarily survived Krypton's initial explosion by using a protective atmospheric dome. However, this only delayed the inevitable. Over time, the city became a dying asteroid, with a toxic environment, contaminated water, decaying vegetation, and radiation that transformed the planet's minerals into kryptonite. These visuals reinforce the trauma that defines Kara's character. We are also shown a crucial moment where her father, Zor-El, sends Kara away from Argo City in a lead-lined escape pod. This is likely the last time Kara ever sees her family alive. Interestingly, biologically speaking, Kara is actually older than Superman. She was already a teenager when Krypton was destroyed, while Clark was still an infant. However, her journey to Earth did not proceed normally. Her pod became trapped in stasis, halting her aging process. As a result, when they eventually meet, Clark has grown into an adult, while Kara still appears much younger, despite carrying far more traumatic memories of Krypton's fall. The story then expands with the introduction of Ruthye, or Ruthye. She is a young girl seeking revenge after her father is murdered by an agent known as Krem of the Yellow Hills. In the comic, Krem is not a grand villain like Darkseid, but rather a smaller, more grounded antagonist, cruel, irritating, and human in his brutality. This is precisely what makes the story compelling. Ruthye initially seeks out a bounty hunter, but eventually crosses paths with Kara. Their journey begins when Krem attacks, poisons Krypto, and steals Kara's spaceship. The poison becomes a critical plot device, creating urgency. Krypto only has 3 days to live without the antidote. This forces Kara to join Ruthye's quest for vengeance, even though she does not fully agree with her motives. This is where the story's moral conflict emerges. Kara believes that revenge will not ease the pain, while Ruthye sees it as the only path to justice. Throughout their journey, they travel across multiple planets, confirmed to be 9 different worlds, and encounter 5 alien languages, including Kryptonian. This reinforces that the film is not a typical Earth-based superhero story, but a large-scale cosmic adventure. Some of the locations shown in the trailer depict intergalactic criminal environments, such as a towering spaceport rising above the clouds, filled with neon signs written in alien languages. These places serve as hubs for smugglers, bounty hunters, and dangerous individuals across the galaxy. One of the biggest surprises in the trailer is the appearance of Lobo, portrayed by Jason Momoa. Although Lobo does not appear in the Woman of Tomorrow comic, his inclusion is a nod to an early concept of the story that originally involved the character. Lobo is depicted as a brutal and chaotic bounty hunter, complete with his iconic space bike and involvement in large-scale battles. His presence adds both action and a wild, unpredictable energy to the film. Meanwhile, Krem of the Yellow Hills remains the central antagonist. The trailer introduces a slight deviation from the comic, suggesting that he killed Ruthye's entire family rather than just her father. This change heightens the emotional stakes of Ruthye's motivation. Krem is also associated with a criminal group known as the Brigands. Throughout the story, Kara and Ruthye encounter planets that have been devastated by this group, explaining the wide-ranging scope of their journey across different worlds. Beyond its action and adventure, the film strongly emphasizes emotional depth. One key element supporting this tone is its music. The trailer features What Becomes of the Brokenhearted by Jimmy Ruffin, replacing the more energetic tone of the teaser, which used music from Blondie. The song speaks about loneliness, loss, and emotional emptiness, perfectly aligning with Kara's internal struggles. Kara is also seen wearing a shirt featuring Debbie Harry, further reinforcing her rebellious, free-spirited, and somewhat unstable personality. Ultimately, the core of the film is not about defeating a villain, but about an emotional journey. Kara is not only trying to stop Krem or save Krypto, she is also trying to guide Ruthye away from a path of destructive revenge. A key line in the trailer, "Revenge won't take your pain away," captures the essence of the film's theme. This is a story about loss, trauma, and the choices one makes in response to that pain. With its more personal, philosophical, and emotionally driven approach, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow is shaping up to be one of the most unique entries in the DC universe. Rather than focusing solely on spectacle and action, it explores the humanity of a Kryptonian who has lost everything. And from what the trailer reveals, Kara's journey is not just across the stars, but a journey toward meaning, identity, and perhaps a place she can finally call home.